Welcome to episode 11 of the Trav's Outfitter podcast. I'm your host, Shane Carlson. With me is Trav's Outfitter owner and founder, Travis Youthy, and we are joined today by Captains Dennis and Kelly Jolly of the Salvation Army from Watertown. And we're going to have a great discussion today about all the things that they're doing this holiday season for our local community. It's a lot going on. And so we're super excited to have them. So welcome to the podcast, guys. You guys aren't busy at all this time of year, are you?
No, we're just needing stuff to do.
Yeah, I'm sure the project list is never ending at this point.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, awesome. Thanks for joining the podcast today. And before we get into some of those details about what's going on right now, can you tell us a little bit about how you both got into your roles at the Salvation Army?
Sure, yeah. So both Dennis and I are what you might call generational Salvationists. Our families were both in the Salvation Army, although Dennis and I didn't meet until we were in training to become Salvation Army officers. But my parents are Salvation Army officers, so they do the same thing that we do. They're stationed in Decatur, Illinois right now. But I grew up kind of all over the place in the Midwest, just seeing what they did, meeting different people, seeing people from all walks of life, and just seeing the impact that the Salvation Army made from a different perspective. And that's what kind of led me to pick up this calling and to continue in the family legacy, you might say, of being an officer.
Yeah, so I grew up in Michigan most of my life. And when I was 12 years old, my mom started to did the same thing. She was a Salvation Army officer, and so we packed up and moved. And I spent my high school years in a small town in the UP of Michigan. So that was fun. And at the age of 15, God just called me to this, and I couldn't see me doing anything else but this. Like, everyone had were trying to decide what they were going to do with their lives in high school, and I had it. It was rock solid for me.
Wow.
And the funny story about Kelly and I, our families have crossed paths, but like she said, we never met. Her great uncle and my great uncle were best friends. And my aunt and uncle were divisional youth secretaries. That's what they call them in the Salvation Army. While Kelly's with Kelly's parents. So it was our families knew each other before we did.
Yeah, our families crossed paths, but we never did.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, but at the age of 15, this is what I really wanted to do, and I haven't looked back since. I love what we do. It's really, at times it's hard, but it's really enjoyable.
I want to point out something that Kelly said. It's not really just a job. It's so much more than that. But Kelly, you said it was more of a calling, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So unlike Dennis, I, at 15, was saying I would never, ever do this. Not going to be that. But God kept working on my heart and kept pointing out ways that he had shaped me into this. It's a profession where we move a lot. That's just part of the thing. And I found that I get antsy if I've been anywhere for too long, those kind of things. I have a heart for missions and for overseas work, and the Salvation Army is in countries all over the world. So there's lots of opportunities to serve that way. And so God just kept revealing in my heart, I did create you for this.
Wow.
So.
That's beautiful, really.
Yeah. And the thing with the Army is you go where the Army needs you, but we always say God uses you everywhere. Mm-hmm. And Kelly and I have come to the understanding that no matter where we go, that the Army sends us, God's going to work into it. Mm-hmm. Nowhere in our thoughts that, even in our thinking, would we be here in South Dakota. Growing up in Michigan, I thought I was going to stay in Michigan, but serving the Lord has really opened a lot of doors and built a lot of relationships, and relationships that will last a lifetime. So, and I'm really thankful. Yeah, it's not a job, it's not a career. We're not in it for the look at me or the climbing the corporate ladder. We're just here to serve, and this is because that's what the Lord has told us to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an amazing testimony. If you've noticed, around town, red kettles are prevalent at multiple businesses. We have one here at Trav's Outfitter. You'll hear the bells ringing. You might even hear them in the background of this audio. Not sure, but you'll see those around town. Let's talk about that red kettle campaign a little bit. That kicked off on Friday, and the need is bigger now than it's ever been for the mission of the Salvation Army and the work that the red kettle does throughout this holiday season.
Yeah, so the mission of the Army is to preach the gospel first and foremost, and to meet human needs in His name without discrimination. And it takes money to do that. And so during the Christmas season is one of our biggest biggest fundraiser events, and like you said, the bells, and so the need is even greater. We were looking over our stats, and we're projected to go above what we served last year, and we can't do that without the help of the community, and that's where the donating into the Red Kettle helps support the Salvation Army. 82 cents of that money raised goes back into the community. Again, there's of every dollar. Sorry, so 82 cents of every dollar goes right into the community. And again, there's overhead costs like payroll, and we got to pay our lights and utilities. And so, but most of everything just goes right into the community. That's a really high number. A percent of a cent goes into the community. So, but yeah, our goal this year is $250,000 for the Christmas goal, and I think it's achievable. I fully believe it's achievable. Last year we did $276,000. So, last year we were 14% above our goal. So we're really thankful for that, and we couldn't do it without those bells being rung. So, the bells being rung is a dedication of we live by faith, and we're just trusting that the Lord's going to provide anything we need. So,
and not only is this a season where people can opt to give financially, but also there's a need for bell ringers as well.
Yeah. So we could not raise money without bell ringers. An empty kettle it does nothing for us. It just sits there and does nothing. But if you have a bell ringer there, then the donations start happening. And last year, volunteers did 841 hours, and which is fantastic. And out of that hours, they raised over $36,000 for us. And that's an average of $42 an hour. And that is fantastic. And so this year, we're aiming kind of for the 1,200 mark of volunteers. And with that, if you're looking at the average of $42 an hour, that's a potential $51,000 of our goal just being raised. Yes, we do hire bell ringers, but again, if we hire bell ringers, we have to pay them. So that's less money coming back into the community. So the more people volunteer at a bell ringing spot, at a kettle spot, the more money we can keep, and not say keep, but also use to give back to the community in different programs and in different social service services.
Mm-hmm. And last year was the first year that you kind of had what they called a Christmas chairperson, kind of heading up and spearheading the charge, getting out in front of people and kind of helping promote this. And Travis, last year that was you. So I kind of want to hear your thoughts on what that experience was like for you from last year. and then kind of pivoting into your role this year?
Well, first off, anytime I'm asked to do something like this, I always feel honored that people would trust me and would believe in me and would believe that I have the integrity that it takes to do those sorts of things. And so I feel honored that you guys asked me to do that last year. And I had a lot of ideas, and some of those didn't come to fruition. I had this idea. We created all these. We got a code. What do you call those? QR code that you could scan, and we put it up around town. And we thought people would just scan it with their phone and give, and that didn't really work. And then I think there was some struggles with the mailer or something last year. Didn't get held up in the post office or something that goes out around Thanksgiving. And so we had a few hurdles to kind of come up against, but thankful that we have Shane with our in-house marketing department, and Shane was able to keep beating the drum, and we created videos as to why we believe that you should give. And I'm really thankful that Brittany and Austin Petrick have agreed to help this year, and they're definitely younger than I am, and in a lot of ways more dynamic than I am, and so I'm really excited to see how this season goes for you guys. But we're still going to help promote you, and we still believe 100% in the mission that you guys are doing, and we know that it takes money, and we'll continue to support this Red Kettle campaign for 2024 in any way that we can.
Yeah. I think last year you did a fantastic job. For being the first one. It was a real. When we first had that meeting, I remember driving here and telling Kelly, I go, I don't know how this is going to go. The worst thing he can say is no, and that's my thought, my where my mind goes. But we came out of that meeting going, what just happened? Wow. And I was very blessed when we left. And again, that's like the Lord just being like, you got the right person, and he has a good heart, and so I don't know, from our standpoint, you did fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
We really appreciate everything you did last year to kind of set the pace for this year. So.
Yeah, just for me, from a personal level, it took me a long time to understand that everything we have has first been given to us. Mm-hmm. I was one of those. I'm not proud of this, but I was one of those when I was a teenager. I was like, the pastor's asking for money just because he wants more money to spend at church, right? Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of people that believe that, right? That they just don't trust or understand the need. And I'm not saying there's a lot of people like that, like to exonerate the way that I felt when I was younger. But as I come to know Jesus as my Lord and Savior, I've come to have a more open ear and a better understanding that everything that we have has been given to us by Him first. And so that's the reason that I feel as passionate about organizations like the Salvation Army, our church family, those sorts of things, is because, at the end of the day, it's really easy to have our hands closed. God's given us this, we close our hands, we hang on to it, and we use it to do all the things that we feel like we want to do. But that's really not what God's intention is, and you guys know that. You guys live that. But God's intention is for us to have open hands. Right. And so, yes, a portion of what God gives us, we still have, Sherry and I have bills that we have to pay every month, and we have wants and needs that we would like. But at the end of the day, if we're really honest about it, there's a lot of overflow. Right. And so, that was a big reason why when you asked, there was no hesitation, and it was like, let's do this. And so, it was fun. We're just super excited. We're thankful. I was sad that I wasn't able to be here last Friday, but we had a meeting out in the Black Hills on Saturday, if I would have been here Friday night and asked my wife to drive all night so that we could be at that meeting at 9 o'clock Saturday morning, it would not have gone well. So anyways, I was sad that I wasn't able to be there, but really, really excited for, to watch what you guys will do along with Brittany and Austin in the community.
Right. And, we when we're looking at chairs, we look at a lot of things and just their outpouring of giving. And I don't know, Kelly can explain more, but like when choosing a chair, we look at someone who has a heart for mission, heart for the community. And, you were my first thought. Like you said, we had some hurdles to go through. Not every idea worked, but you know what, we learned, and we succeeded. Mm-hmm. Like 10%, 14% above our goal is fantastic. So I don't know if you want to chime in about Brittany and Austin a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. When we are looking for a Christmas chair, it was kind of a new thing in our career to do, but we wanted someone who was really community-minded, who's just well-known throughout the community, but also well-known for their giving back to their own community. And we wanted someone whose values and beliefs kind of align with the Salvation Army and what we care about. And so this year when we were looking, Travis, you recommended, but it was also a thought that I had too, was Brittany and Austin. They're really well known in the community, but they're well known for their heart and just giving back to the community. I know Brittany, her Rosabella's Boutique does a different charity every month that they give back a portion of their sales to. And she's given back over $79,000, which is just amazing. Mm-hmm. And then she started this, it's kind of a clothing closet, Women Helping Women, which I think is just a fantastic way to empower other women and to help them. Anyone in need can come and just pick some clothing, and it's free for them. So that's just another great way to help the community. And Austin as well with Labby's, he helps out in a lot of different ways. A lot of them are quieter ways, but he just has a real heart for this community and for helping others as well. And so they were just the perfect fit for this year. So we're really excited. In that meeting too, they came in with a bunch of ideas, and halfway through the meeting I was like, so I'm gonna say you're saying yes, because they never really said yes, but they just kept rolling with the ideas, and they were like, yeah, absolutely, and they had a bunch of ideas. And so I'll let Dennis share a little bit about what they're doing special this year.
Labby's is also doing, like, if you need a meal, someone will pay for it, and then you can just take it off the board or something, which is fantastic. Again, giving back to the community. But Labby's this year is doing something special for the Salvation Army, as Rosabella's with the charity of the month for November is us. But Labby's from the month of November to December, if you go in there and you get a burger, it's a cheese curd burger, and a drink, which is a caramel hot chocolate, $1 from each of those sales will go back to the Salvation Army. So again, just new inventive ways to help support the Salvation Army. And again, we couldn't be really thankful for them for helping us.
I think I know where I might be going out to dinner next.
Right.
That's
we heard that it was good. We haven't had it yet, but our case manager's father had it, and he said it was fantastic. So I'm like, okay.
Lots of cheese.
Yeah, we're from the Midwest. We like that.
Right.
I saw the picture, and it looked amazing.
Right, absolutely.
So not only is the Red Kettle event going on, but there's other things. Thanksgiving is coming up. I know you guys are involved in helping feed locals for that. So if you could touch on that, and then also the angel tree. That's another thing that's going on with the Salvation Army. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. We every year at Christmas we kind of do an extra thing. So throughout the whole year, anyone who's in need of food, once every 31 days can come and get a food box. But at Thanksgiving, we do an extra box, a box that's tailored towards your traditional American Thanksgiving food. So your green bean casserole, your ham or turkey. cornbread, all kinds of the things that would go typically in your Thanksgiving box. So that's coming up next week, and we have what I tell you, 270 families signed up for that, boxes that will go out next week. But along with that, families who are in need this time of year is, we're talking before the podcast about just the inflation costs and cost of living and all kinds of things that have just gone up. But on top of that, right now, it's the holiday season, and Christmas is coming, and parents know that. And they're already trying to stretch their dollars as it is. So we have an angel tree program where parents can sign up their children to be a part of our angel tree program. And each child receives several gifts. It depends on how many we get in, but anywhere between 4 and 6 gifts with stocking stuffers and sometimes clothing and different things like that as well. This year we have 555 kids signed up. Which is an increase from last year. And so we've got several angel trees around town. So what the person does if they want to help out, they want to get some of the toys, purchase them for the kids. Around town, there's several different locations where you can pick an angel off a tree, and on it will have the age and gender, and it should have a few things that they are either interested in or might like for Christmas. And you go and shop for them, and you can bring the gifts either back to the Salvation Army, or some locations will bring the gifts over to us if you bring it back where you got the angel tag. But there are places like Trav's has a tree, Walmart has a tree, First Interstate Bank, a lot of various churches throughout the town. And then also we'll have a tree in our lobby that will have some as well. So if you're looking for that, it's a great way to help out. It's a great tradition to start with your kids. I know a lot of families who will have their kids pick kids that are similar age, and so that their kid can shop for that kid, and kind of just help them to see a different side of things, that not every family has, the money to provide Christmas gifts. So it's just a really great program and a way to kind of give back to the kids in the community, so everyone has something under the tree for Christmas.
When I was in high school, my best friend, his family was really struggling, so they signed up for the Salvation Army angel tree program, and it was really cool. One donor came in and said, "I have X amount of dollars. I don't want to do the shopping. I don't like that, but I want someone to go shopping for some family." So my friend's family was chosen to be adopted in a sense, and my mom and I got to go shopping for his family, and that was like really eye-opening to me, seeing my best friend's family struggle, and us being available to help, and it just really opened my eyes. So every angel is a child, and we're really thankful. Every year, again, my anxiety hits, and it's like, I don't think we'll have enough toys. I don't think we'll have enough toys. I don't think we'll have enough toys. And then God shows up, and we have X amount of abundance of toys, and I just sit there and I go, okay, God, you got my attention. And even with kettles too, okay, I should just stop worrying, but that human emotion just takes over. But God just shows up and just like shows out in so many ways. So yeah.
I think it's an example of like one of those times where you want to plan it all out, you want to have all the details ironed out, and then it just doesn't work like that. Like that's not how life works.
No, not at all.
Well, it's not how God works. That's for sure.
Right.
They say if you want to make God laugh, all you have to do is tell him your plans, right?
Right.
And
Right, absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, he's got his own.
Right, right. And far better plans than us.
Yes, for
He
sure.
knows what we need and how much we need.
Right.
And we just got to trust that, which is sometimes hard.
Yep. Right.
And like we were talking before the show, the increased need just across the board has gone up from this year compared to where we were at last year. And can we just touch on that a little bit? Just whether it be food costs or, toys for kids, and the reality that it does affect people in our community. It's not just a tag on a tree that goes to some cause, but it actually goes to a child in need.
Right. Again, we don't like ask for toys and then keep them. We ask for toys and then we give them out. And what's really cool is parents will go shopping for their children. So it's not like we're picking for them. It's them picking, and it gives them the sense of making Christmas good for their children. And Toy Shop is one of my favorites, and I know it's yours too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what he was saying is that the parents of the kids who have signed up for Angel Tree, they come in, and they get to shop from the toys that we've received. So it gives them that sense of dignity where I picked out this. Maybe I wasn't able to pay for it, but it was especially picked out for you. Every year we hear stories of, I can't believe you had that. That's exactly what my daughter was looking for. That's exactly what my son wanted. And, it's not us, obviously. I mean, different people are bringing it in through the community. But it's God lining up the right person to pick the right gift at the right time for the right kid. And it's always just a beautiful time. So we really love that. But yeah, there's definitely been an increase this year. In the last several years have just continued to see an increase in the need with gas prices, although those are kind of going down. Dennis saw on the way here. He gets very excited.
I get very excited over gas prices. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But yeah, gas prices, food costs, just the cost of living, rent in general, like all these things just add up every day. And then on top of that, you've got Christmas now. And no parent wants to be the parent of the kid who didn't get anything on Christmas and goes to school sad because all their kids all the friends have stories about their beautiful Christmas, but they couldn't provide. So that's why we do the Angel Tree program, is to give people dignity and to make sure that every kid gets to open something on Christmas Day.
Yeah, we're seeing at the Army, like, again, increases in food. Our food boxes, our meals. We have a saying in the Salvation Army that need knows no season. Like, we're always there. We are always we're always giving back. We're always providing something year round. It's not just at Christmas time, though. Christmas time, that's when we all think more about it, but it's year round. We're providing rental assistance, utility assistance, clothing vouchers, lodging, emergency lodging, food, transportation, even prescriptions at times for people who need that. And again, the money that we raise goes into all those programs and the Christmas programs too, such as Thanksgiving and Angel Tree and everything. So when you're ringing a bell, and we done the math, 2 hours provides 2 hours of bell ringing provides 20 to 25 meals for somebody, for the people. 4 hours of bell ringing makes sure a family has a rent for that month, or 8 hours provides about 20 to 25 food boxes. So when you're standing at the kettle ringing a bell, it's not, you can have that mindset of, I'm providing food for somebody. I'm providing a sustainable lodging for a family, and I think that changes everyone's mindset of why you're bell ringing.
Yeah, for sure. I wasn't being rude there. I was trying to find something on my phone that I'd saved a long time ago, and I was going to try to read it, but I'll paraphrase it. You've probably seen or heard. It's from the 1940s, actually. It's a story from the 40s of a mom and 3 daughters. I think it was called The Richest Family in Town or The Poorest Family in Town. I don't know if you've ever read it, but to paraphrase it, what it was a mom and 3 sort of young adolescent girls, and they had went to church, and the pastor had said there was a family that really needed help. They really needed help, and asked if said in about 3 weeks they were going to take a really special offering for that family. And so this mom and these 3 daughters who had very, very meager means went home, and they decided, for 3 weeks we could just live on a small amount of food, just potatoes. We could just make potatoes in different ways for 3 weeks, and that would save us X amount of money. And then they went to work, and they made pot holders and made all sorts of things that they could sell. And they made sacrifices of all sorts. And I don't remember exactly what the dollar amount was, but they were so proud that day when it came time to give that special offering, that I think they gave like $21. And you have to keep in mind, this was in the 40s. The single mother and 3 daughters with very meager means gave like $21. And then after that offering, the pastor went and counted it up and said that, the church had done a really, really good job, and he was going to get this money to the family that was really in need. And later that afternoon, the pastor showed up at their house and knocked on the door and gave them the envelope of money. And they talked about in this story how it was so sort of defeating to them, defeating to find out that everybody else in church thought that they were the poorest family, right? Or the pastor thought they were the poorest family. And when they opened up the envelope, there's like $31 in there. So out of all of the money that was collected for this really poor family, they had contributed 21 of the $31. I'm probably not getting the dollar amount exactly right, but they had contributed over 2/3 of it. And so the reason I wanted to share that is because, and it speaks of this in the Bible as well, that it's not about how much you can give, but it's about how much we're willing to give from what we have. And I think sometimes that gets lost. I think sometimes people are like, well, the only person that can give is a business person that has all sorts of means and they can give.
Right.
And I think that goes to the volunteering for bell ringing. It goes to anything else, right? I mean, so the reason I'm sharing that is I would just ask and implore that anybody that sees this podcast would share it. But also this time of year that we're entering into, the next 6 weeks, is a beautiful time, and the story is beautiful, right? But the fact of the matter is that Jesus came into this world in a very meager way.
Right.
And then he lived a life of 33 years, and he went out of this world in a very meager way. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is just to remind us that it's not only people that seem like they have lots of means to help that can help.
Right.
That we all can give. And it might seem like what we give is insignificant, but the beauty of it is when you take that and you multiply it by 50 or 100 or 150 or 250 or 300 people, that amount that seems insignificant to us becomes very significant when we're all pulling together, when we're all pulling in the same direction. And so, that was just, I just wanted to explain to you, I wasn't trying to be rude and I wasn't trying to chase down something on Facebook, but I just wanted to make that point that I think so often that's what happens. And you guys were talking about the angel tree, and you're talking about your bell ringing and how you if you volunteered a bell ring for 2 hours, the impact that you're making, right? And at the end of the day, I'm a really busy guy, but I'm not too busy to give 2 hours to ring the bell, right? I mean, because I will tell you that over the course of a week, I probably waste 6 hours doing something that's mind-numbing and dumb, right? So what my point is it's not the sort of giving, and the need knows no season isn't just for those that have lots of means to do it.
Right.
It's so.
Well, and I think of the widow's mite too. Like she gave everything, and she was joyful about it.
Yes.
And we're just asking people, every little bit helps.
Yeah.
that penny, that nickel, that dime, whatever, that $100 bill, that every little bit helps. And what you can give, again, we believe in loaves and fishes. Like, we believe God's going to multiply everything for it. So we're really, really thankful for just the heart of this community. I would add, we are doing something new this year as an incentive for bell ringing, volunteer bell ringing, that we're looking at giving, prizes for this year. Just as incentive to get bell ringers, to get the 2 hours now. And if people volunteer 2 or more hours to bell ring, your name goes into a drawing for some prizes. Some gift cards from Trav's and Labby's and Rosabella's. We also got Perkins and Buffalo Wild Wings, and we're still waiting on to hear some more. But when you go and volunteer to be a bell ringer this year, your name goes into a drawing for something. Riddles donated a pair of pearl earrings to us. And so that's going to go into it. And again, it's not that we're like, it's not like we're not saying to do it for that prize, but it is good to get it's something out of it in a sense, and so we wanted to use that as an incentive to build our volunteers, and that's something new this year. And I think that's going to be a huge success. We just announced it today on our Facebook. So,
and there again, if you volunteer to bell ring and you're fortunate enough to win the earrings or a gift card or whatever, nobody says you have to use it on yourself.
Right.
If you want to give it away to somebody, you can give it away.
Right. And that's a gift, Christmas gift for somebody.
Yeah. How about are you guys at liberty to talk about the Shamrocks?
Yeah, we
should
are.
Talk about that.
This year, again, we were looking at something new, what we wanted to do, and we got this beautiful ice arena with this hockey team. And
people are crazy for the Shamrocks.
Right.
I don't know if they're crazy for hockey or fighting, but people are crazy for the Shamrocks.
Right.
You get both when you go to the games.
Right.
Right.
So I called them and I was like, hey, I'm from the Salvation Army. We would like to meet, and we would to see what we could do for each other. And so I met with them. And again, it was that mindset of, I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe they won't do anything, but they came out with a bunch of stuff. They have volunteered 54 hours of bell ringing. Actually, today they're going to be bell ringing at all the locations. They're players, so we're really thankful for that. They're going to allow us to put a kettle at a game. And host an angel tree at the games, and they're doing a teddy bear toss for us at a Saturday game. And again, that's just God opening a door, and us just trusting Him and saying, okay, I'm going to walk through it. I don't know what's going to happen, but okay. And I always tell myself the worst that they can say is no. And then we figure out something. But the Shamrocks have really shown up for the Army. I'm really excited to see them bell ring. We haven't been to a game yet.
What dates are those games?
I think they're December.
The next one's on the 15th at home.
Yeah, but the Salvation Army ones, they're doing the 6th and the 7th. Of December. And so we're really thankful for that. And I'm waiting for one of them a response to see if they would be donating as an incentive to that bell ringing. So, they really showed up. I'm really excited again for the bell ringing and their players coming out and doing that. Again, that's their community, them giving back to their community. I hope there's not going to be any fighting at the kettle stand.
I think they'll keep the gloves at home for that.
That's good.
I hope.
Well, yeah.
Well, speaking of bell ringers, I know there's a place where you can go to sign up, but can you talk about where to sign up, how to sign up, and how that process looks?
Yeah, so it's very, very easy. You go online, registertoring.com. You create an account. You can do it as a group or as a single individual, but you can pick your time, date, and location, and then you just show up. You get a confirmation email, and you just show up at the site, and your apron is there, your bell is there, your bucket's there, and you just start ringing. Very, very simple, very, very easy to do. The link is in our Facebook, and I think it's on our website. But very simple. I've done it, but if you're not that technical savvy, and computers scare you, you can always just call us at our office, and I can set you up in that database for you.
This might seem like a shameless plug. It's not. But when we built this building, we purposely put 2 heaters in our entryway.
Right.
So I have to tell you, if you want to ring a bell and you want to be nice and warm and comfortable, I don't know about other locations, but I can tell you, because I know firsthand, Trav's Outfitter is a nice, warm place to ring the bell.
And there's free hot chocolate and coffee.
And there's free hot chocolate and coffee and a bottle of water if you want one. I don't let up, do I, Shane?
We love telling that story, though, that you, when you were designing this building, thought about the Salvation Army and about those bell ringers standing in the cold.
I had done some bell ringing in some other places in town, and I'm not going to name them, or I'm not being critical of them, but when you put on every pair of socks you have and a pair of overalls and a jacket, and your nose is still frozen for about 20 minutes after you get in the house, I was just like, in the whole scheme of things, an extra heater in the entryway doesn't cost a heck of a lot, and boy, we can make somebody's day while they're ringing the bell.
Right?
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
A lot of the volunteers who sign up volunteer. It's either this one or Hy-Vee is the big one, but because they know, like, Trav's, you're warm. I think Austin bell ringed here last Friday, and he goes, "Man, I got hot," and I was like, "Yeah, that's Trav's." But we love telling the story of, that's one of the reasons why we picked you for the first Christmas chair was, we love to tell the story of you thought of the Army, and again, that was way before us coming here, and it's as officers, when officers first arrive in a place, and you hear stories like that, you come out thinking, man, this community really rocks. And I can tell you, killing it, again, some days are tough. Some days are really tough, but most of the days, Kelly and I lay in bed and we talk about how awesome this appointment really is for us. We couldn't ask for a better appointment. Really, this is technically our first appointment being married. We were married in 2020, so we had other appointments out of there, but this is our first appointment being married, and we are really blessed to be here, just because of just because the community and the people and everything. This appointment has everything that a Salvation Army officer would want, and so we're really thankful for that. But yeah.
Well, before we wrap up, just to recap, registertoring.com is where you can go to sign up to ring bells at various locations this Christmas season. So we encourage you to go and take a look at that and see what you can do with your schedule to make that work. And we just want to thank Captains Dennis and Kelly for coming on today and talking a lot about what the Salvation Army does for everybody here in the community. A lot of it goes unseen sometimes, but the work is super important, and we're glad that you're here to do that. And so that's a wrap for episode 11 of the Trav's Outfitter podcast. You can catch us on our YouTube channel, or you can listen to us wherever you prefer to listen to your podcast. And remember to like and subscribe. Thanks.
Hey, Shane, before we go.
Yeah.
I know I just messed up your outro.
No, you're good.
But those of you that are watching the podcast, if you have some ideas of who you think you want to see at on the Trav's Outfitter podcast, you can get a hold of Shane, through our socials, whatever it might be. We've been doing a lot of stuff for nonprofits and those sorts of things, and we embrace those and support those. But if there's something you want to see on the podcast, let us know, and we'll go to work trying to make it happen. We're going to work on trying to get some executives from some boot companies to be on, those sorts of things. Through the holiday season, it might be because of the season, the reason for the season. It's probably still going to be a lot more nonprofit-y stuff. But come January, we really want to blow this thing up. We're going to work on seeing. This is a little sneak peek, but we're going to see if we can get the CEO and founder of Brunt Footwear. It's the hottest work footwear brand out there right now. I don't think he'll be able to be here in person, but we're going to see if we can't get him on the podcast here in January or February. So
get the Shamrocks on here.
Yeah,
too.
there you go. So, anyways,
Hopefully
thanks
no
again,
fighting.
Shane.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody.